Have you had a good event? Good. Who is this first NDC event? Oh, sweet. That's awesome. All right. Well, welcome. I've done way too many of them, so I always like to ask because I'm a bit biased. I do like NDC events, wherever they are. This is a bit of a disclaimer, maybe. It's probably appropriate this time. This is, the premise for this was I really like home automation, so I hope maybe that's why some of you are here. And I needed to disguise that as something that NDC would accept. So here we are, right? No, this is a talk about product development, making better products, etc. But yeah, it might not be exactly the serious talk that you're after. It is Friday, so yes, this is my farm down the bottom here. And that is, yes, a drone wide shot of the valley that we're in Victoria. This is a good thing it was taken in daylight because Victoria is broken, so there's no power anywhere, which may or may not become a problem later in my presentation. But let's see. So, okay, I'm going to ask formally that, just show of hands, who does any form of home automation? Doesn't it be, oh, that's amazing. Right. Is that why you came to this talk? Okay, I better do it properly then. That's good. So, you want llamas?
I'm here for the llama content.
Here for the llama content? Not long. Not long. First though, who recognizes this? A few people. Okay, that's like show of hands. 5, 6, 8 and a half. This is Home Assistant. So this is if you're very nerdy, which I hope most people here are because I like nerds, and you're into Home Assistant, home automation, come on in. There's room up the front. Don't just go down the back. That's just rude. This is sort of the accepted community open source product that you use for home automation things, called Home Assistant. And you can set all these beautiful dashboards on your own. So you can see here I have water management because I live on a farm with there's no town water. That's important to us. You can turn on pumps, etc., on and off. I can do all this from my phone. If Victoria had power, I could do it. There's another part I have something to do with weather because I learned when you live on a farm, all you do is complain about the weather, apparently. So there's lots of weather stuff, graphs, pretty stuff. I have things about temperatures. So most rooms in the house will have a temperature sensor. You can turn on air cons on and off. There's some thermostats, etc., right? All the sort of stuff that you kind of know is in the home automation realm is in here. Even lights, right? So every light that I can get my hands on is now also part of this. So there's just there's a bit of a context for the talk. Just bear this in mind, yeah? So I can say, hi, now everybody's here. I think I'm Lars. I work for Arcana, which is it's a startup, but we're sort of half consultancy and half products, and maybe in between things as well. It's very interesting work. I'm a Microsoft MVP, which means that they give you a lot of stickers. It's fantastic, right? I don't work for Microsoft. I have never worked for Microsoft. Most people think I have, but I have not. I've just drunk so much Kool-Aid that it appears that I have worked. And I have a YouTube channel, which we'll see later as well. Plug. Look me up. If you like networking, home automation, occasional Lego videos, YouTube is amazing. So, a bit of a carrot for you. No, not the llamas. I am still writing a book. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. If you would like a copy, ask questions. And I can give you access to the MEAP, Manning Early Access Program. No one's excited. No, so you can get access if you want. So yeah, I have 3 copies I can give away from Manning. That gives you access to all of it. And you can comment on it and say, this is wrong, what the hell are you on about, kind of thing. Or, that's amazing. I like those comments too. So yeah, bear in mind, please ask questions. Okay, this is a conversation, it's just me talking at you. I'm happy to take questions throughout. Right, cool. So now you might be at the point where you go, what the hell does this have to do with building better products? So if you read the outline at all, I am going to talk about, people just went, llamas farm, sure.
Sorry, I'm late.
Yeah, you're all right, Jesus. You can sit down there. Have you not met Jesus? Risen. What does this have to do with products, right? Because I do work in a company, we do produce products, but I'm also taking there's a whatever is relevant in my world approach to creating and making better products. So that's sort of where we're at, right? And of course, it starts with, come on, Eli, geez, we rehearsed this. What does it start with?
Llamas.
Yeah, exactly, right? Thank you. It starts with llamas, it actually does. So these are llamas and they are on my land. I do not own the llamas, but I might as well because they live with me. Hang on, that sounds wrong. They're on the paddocks that I have on the farm, right? It's a neighbor's llamas. I don't know anything about farming. I'm a software developer. I'm one of those city people that moved to the country and pretended I knew what I was doing. So these are neighbor's llamas. They're on our land. Yes, we do. I do take pictures of them and put them on the internet. So much so that about 5.5 years ago, I did this. Right? I put it on September 2018. Right? As you do. Who would not do that? And it was just sort of like, I thought it was kind of cute. It was like they were saying something to, I don't know, right? It's just another picture. And then what the internet did was this. Right? That was the exact reaction. Because have a look at this. Yeah, and fine. I don't have a reply from you, but there might have been one. Right? That's pretty good. I'll take that. That's not bad. I'll just let that sink in. There's snickering. Yeah, right. That's pretty good. I thought, yeah, okay. Or that one from Amy. Right? It's like she's met me before. And then Colin, who's just weird. I don't know if you know abstract code. No? Okay, good. He's from Melbourne, Colin. I got lots and lots of feedback on it in terms of replies and, that's cute and stuff, right? So, that's one. So I'm just building up to it now, right? So we got the home automation side of things. There's some llamas. People are excited about llamas. Okay, we're getting there. So what happened? What happened in about March 2020? Something happened. I can't remember what it was.
Animal Crossing came out.
What was it?
Animal Crossing came out.
Animal Crossing came out. I did not know that.
Oh, yeah.
What? I don't know what they're talking about. Something else happened. There were. Anyway, I was working from home. There wasn't a big difference. I just couldn't go anywhere. So what a lot of nerds, especially in Australia, did, because we couldn't go anywhere, most of Australia. Shut up, Brisbane. Yeah, that's not Australia, is it? That's Western Australia. Yeah, okay. No, what happened was I started doing networking equipment, right? As a software developer. What? Is that my dad? Pretty good. No, because suddenly we had time and we needed better network at home because now there were 162 devices on our networks because everything was at home, right? So I started doing that. And I've now so far installed about 900 meters of Cat6. So it's not that it's gone out of hand, of course. Ooh, we can do that too? Ooh, right. So that was part of it. And then invariably what happens is that you get a lot of coverage, right? In fact, the whole property is now covered in Wi-Fi. So like a lot of it. So I reckon, I haven't measured it precisely, but probably 30 acres is covered in Wi-Fi. Because why not? Yes, JK?
Does that mean that we can hack it from anywhere?
Absolutely. Yeah. You would first have to go there. And city people go, you live where? So yeah, come along. Anyway, I just excuse to get drone shot. And through all this, right, I'm doing home automation stuff. I've got networking installed. We have llamas. And people are excited about llamas. I start to think about how do I make this something, let's call it a product, right? It's a hobby, but let's just, as an analogy to a product, right? And then I did that, right? I started setting cameras up and putting them on the llamas because, well, why not? Again. And this then evolved because llama-cam was just what I called this camera on Twitter. It wasn't anything as such, but people then got really excited and said, we need this every day. Like, we need updates. We have to have this all the time. So yes, I did set up llama-cam.com.au. I did. Because I now had cameras. I had networking everywhere. I had infrastructure, yeah. And I had time. Right? It's pandemic. Everybody's at home. So this, if you want to read more about this, by the way, I did put it up on my blog a long time ago, whenever that was, I can't remember. And there's a bit of detail on how that all worked, because it wasn't as simple as I thought it would have been, because I had to take this, to make it a product, as in our website. It's still going, I know. It's mesmerizing like jeeps. So if you want to know more, right, I put in a lot of detail on how it all hangs together. But the primary part of this is that, right? So see how I made it a tech talk now? So we have the llamas. Thank you, David Neal, for drawing a llama for me. And we had the cameras, right? How the hell do you get that on a website? So these are unified ubiquity cameras. They're IP cameras, or they're connected with a LAN cable into a NVR, essentially, a network video recorder. So how do you actually get it onto the internet? That was my issue at first, right? Other issues came, we'll get to those as we iterate. I put it into OBS Studio. If anyone does live streaming, you probably know about OBS, but it's a production. You can produce your video in there in live stream it, and you can get it as one output, right? So you can do all sorts of things that then become an output for something else, which I then put into Azure Media Services, which may or may not exist anymore. If they do, don't use them because they'll die soon. Thank you, Microsoft. I'm guessing no one used it. I wanted to learn about Azure Media Services for other reasons. So I've come up with that. And then that is on llama-cam.com.au. It doesn't run right now for two reasons. One is Victoria's broken, right? So we didn't have any power. We have power now, but I wasn't home, so anyway. And the other thing is it ran on a old laptop. So, as we all do. Yeah? Remember that one with the sticker that says server, do not turn off? Similar thing, right? But it ran, and it was fine. There was a question. Yes, yeah.
The website says that it's going to do live in 15 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want you to wait. You ready? So we'll get to that, why it says that, sort of. I'll get to that in just a second. But yeah, please do ask questions. Again, it's an informal conversation, right? Okay, so there were some product constraints. Oh dear. Self-imposed, most of them, but the first one, 100 gigabytes of internet data per month. That's what I had. Right? And I know people are just like, what? There's limits? Exactly. This was literally like being in Copenhagen, where I grew up in 1995. Right? So that's what I had in 2020, sorry, rather. That was one of the constraints, because I was on Sky Muster. See, no one even knows what that is, right? Anyone know what Sky Muster is? Oh, you do. Okay. Geosynchronous satellite, sent up by the Australian government, size of a small bus, etc., etc. It worked really well. It's just it worked the way it was designed to work, and nothing else. I did not want to self-host a stream, right? Nothing, right? That's just not possible. I couldn't deliver it from where I was. Bandwidth-wise, even, it'd just be crazy. I had absolutely no budget. Zero. This was a hobby project, but it was still, if you approach it like a product, this was one of the constraints. I didn't have any budget. Now, does anyone ever have you ever used Azure Media Services? Anyone? Wonder why the product's dead. Okay. It was a very, very good tool. It was really reliable, and you could do all sorts of setting up live streams that were timed, hence I had that. Spin them up and down, etc. But my God, it was expensive, right? Very expensive. I did dabble with YouTube at first. At the time, it was very tricky to have something that was consistently running 24/7. It's very difficult. And switching it on and off, YouTube just went, end stream. Right, you couldn't actually switch it on. So it was very hard to automate those things. Hence, I went down that as well. Luckily, I am an Azure MVP, which means Microsoft says, please use all our things, and here's some money to do it. So I used all of it on that thing. But that was, and then I had also, of course, I'm a developer. No maintenance, please. Just, I don't want to do maintenance. So that was what I had to deal with, which I did. It did run. Did anyone ever see llama-cam in action when it was running? Oh, there's a couple of people. Right, so they're the three people I sent the link to. No, there was at that, like when it first started, there was 200-300 people a day. They're getting up to about 800 or something. And I think when it finally died, I turned it off, to be honest. It was about, I don't know, 50 or something. So there were people that used it. I'm guessing they just put it on and had it in the background or something, and then I paid for their bandwidth. But fair enough. So it wasn't perfect, obviously. First iteration. So the product matures. I needed improvements, right? So what are some of the improvements? What do you reckon that could, like, streaming of llamas in a paddock? What would you like to know? Sorry? More cameras? Yeah, there was 3 on there. There was
Funny music.
funny music. Very good. Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Detection.
Sorry?
Motion detection.
Exactly, right? Motion detection. There's 50 acres of paddocks. Now, the llamas were usually in one of about 8 or 10 acres, or however big it is, but the cameras don't cover that. Right, so most of the time people log in going, hello, grass. Right, and they sit there and wait an hour, 2 hours. Well, they obviously didn't wait, but there's just no llamas because I don't control them, right? So that was one of the improvements, yeah? Yes?
Weatherproofing.
Weatherproofing of the llamas? Of the cameras? No, not necessary. They're all right. Yeah, they're still going. But yeah, who said?
More llamas.
More llamas? Yeah, there were people that. Yeah. Yes?
Maybe throw some alpacas in there.
Controversial. Controversial. No, I guess. Actually, farmers use llamas as guard animals. I don't know if you knew this. Yeah. So you'll have like 200 sheep and they put 3 llamas in there because the llamas will kick the living shit out of foxes and anything else. It's pretty efficient. Yeah. There was another hand. Yes.
I think that's why it started.
I heard drugs. Drones. Like, this was taking a turn that's not cheap. It's okay. Alrighty. Drones. So, humor me. Yeah. Yeah, I get that, but who controls it? Remember the no maintenance clause? Yeah. Amazing. I'm going to do that now. Yes. Say again? Yeah, say again, sorry. Ethernet the cameras. I did. They were all Ethernet, yeah? Yeah? No. Good tip, though, yeah? I only have one Wi-Fi camera, actually, and it's 4G. It's not even Wi-Fi. Yes?
This one is llama-related. LED llamas. Especially for Christmas.
Who invited this guy? LED llamas, really? Oh, geez. Yes, Dylan?
Yes. Name a llama.
So you know who's Greg and who's Bernard?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, not bad. There's another thing that actually, I think I had 3 suggestions, and I seriously considered it. People wanted to feed the llamas. So, and I was thinking, okay, how do I do this with like a donation to charity? And do I get really fat llamas? How does it work, right? I'm not sure. But I thought that was a really good idea. Yes, down the cheap seats. Can you stream?
Yeah, like suppose you can access it remotely through their setup. You can suppose that probably.
Yes and no. So the question is, can you stream directly from the Ubiquiti cameras, the unified cameras? Sort of. You can expose an RTSP endpoint, so real-time streaming protocol, locally, which is what I use to put it into OBS. But you could also now have a link that you share with one session at a time. So you can give it to many, but they disconnect each other for a camera. You can do that too. So not really, but yeah. They don't want to share things out, I think, as much. All right, so what was the next thing? I'm sorry?
Ultra high definition.
Ultra high. Did you see the requirements? Jeepers. No, we're not just going for HD. It's like ultra. Like we want 8K.
Has 2 the middle llama. It's 2 llamas squished together.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. And what does that Beyonce?
We call him. We call him. There's yin and yang. I may or may not have created this with AI. There's certain hints somewhere. But no, this grew, right? So I got to a point where okay, I need more devices, right? So I got a few more. Actually, I got a few more devices. That's not even. I got a few more devices, right? So we just started getting a bit out of hand. And one of the issues I had as well with this was, what do you think is like if I start putting this out on the internet, well, not this, but the cameras, right? What's the issues?
Security.
Security, thank you. It's like, have you seen this talk before?
Just with body
Yeah. So I had security on it, right? And I'm a developer, right? So, I can see Simone's like, and so my approach to security was a little bit like this. I have to admit, right? It was probably one of the things I should improve on, right? And I talked to a few people over the last 3 days that actually asked about talk. As a developer, I'm like, networking equipment is the most boring thing I could ever do. Then I started doing it and I thought it was really interesting. But I still don't know anything about security, right? It's in networking wise. In programming, sure, we can do that. But yeah, it's just mesmerizing, isn't it? So I started learning about VLANs, right? Which I'd never heard of until I started buying networking equipment. What the hell's a virtual LAN? Now I know. Anyone not know what a virtual LAN is? 2 people? It's a LAN that's virtual. No, it's software-defined LAN segregation, right? Firewalls. Started learning about firewalls. Now, Ubiquiti is pretty good with the standard stuff that comes with it, but still I'd put up more SSIDs so I could have an IoT network that they could only talk to certain things, etc. So I started figuring out how to do that. And of course, SSIDs, right? You need more SSIDs to segregate things. I don't know why, but Unify only does 4 SSIDs, and I always wanted more. Don't know if that's a good thing. Okay, anyone, what do you think I called my 6 gigahertz Wi-Fi 6E LAN, SSID rather?
Llama 6.
It's better than that. It's Llamas in the fast LAN. Of course it was. Anyway, so I started actually sharing a lot of the stuff that I was doing because I went down the path of this llama-cam product and I had all this equipment. I started monitoring things with Home Assistant. So this is one of the videos I did, obviously llamas. And a lot of this was just YAML. Right? Who here loves YAML? Liar.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, I know. It's like you can't really get away from it, right? But yeah, no, so it's relatively simple. It's straightforward is my point. Now we'll get back to this in a bit more. I'm going to say demos. They're not really because guess what I can't connect to right now? That. Luckily, someone has a YouTube channel all this is on, so we're good. So let's have a look at some of the examples of this, okay? So this is all getting back to especially that idea of, remember this, the feeding the llamas, right? How do we do this? I didn't actually end up doing it, but anyway. Okay, so let's have a look at that. So I'm just going to go in here. And so I'm going to have to do it this way. I apologize. But this is me doing an example on text-to-speech, right? So I took the audio off because, yeah, reasons. So this is what it looks like. This is what you do in Home Assistant. This is the programming part of it. It's really quite simple. I didn't actually mean to put that there. Plug. And you put everything in. It's really quite simple. If you have any, if you like coding, programming, this is no big deal, right? So a lot of this home automation is that you connect these things together. So in Home Assistant, you can import everything. As you saw, you can click on lights, etc. The real power is in the automations, which means because it's a platform that has everything in it, you have a Samsung device can talk to a Unify camera, for example, right? Or an Aqara temperature sensor can talk to my Sonos gate opener, right? If you wanted to. You don't have to, but everything talks to everything. And it gives you that power and that freedom of open source, which is why I put it, oh, that's me. Longer hair, anyway. So there's a whole lot of documentation as well that you can use for your home automation things, if that's what you want. And I don't remember where this one goes, so I'll just stop it now. That makes sense? Yeah? Okay. So I was thinking, how do I do that for the feeding part? Like, how do I get the home automation side of things to help? Because it really is an automation, isn't it? So if someone donates to a thing, however that is, $1 through PayPal or whatever, how do I get that donation to appear in, say, an event queue or something where I can then action it and it does a thing? How does that work? Well, this was my plan. I'm saying was because it turned out to be too hard, the payment side of things. I actually found actuators and things so you can like a cat feeder that comes on at a certain time. You can buy that out of the box also, almost. Something similar, just with a carrot. I don't know, whatever llamas eat, right? It seems to be grass. We run an Airbnb. We have guests that go, I brought 20 kilos of carrots for the llamas. Can I feed them? I'm like, you did what? It has happened. And I'm like, sure, go for it. And llamas don't care. Right? So they just walk away. So then they have 20 kilos of carrots for their holiday. Yeah, but I was thinking down those lines, or pellets, like whatever it is that llamas go, whoa, it seems to be gum leaves. I don't know why. When tree branches fall down, they all think it's like, ooh, salad. I don't know. So, but that was the plan. And because this is so damn simple, I thought, well, it can't be that hard if I have something. I just needed something to open and close, essentially. Just a switch that would release something. And then with a camera on it, obviously. So you could feed him. But anyway, that was my idea. Hold that thought. So I just want to show you one other example of this home assistant because I think it's so cool. So here is, I'll just make that bigger. Still not very big. Go, hang on. There we go. You can do stuff like this. So you can have, for example, let me just make sure. Yeah. So I have pressure sensors as water sensors, water level sensors, right? So you put a pressure vessel into a tank and the water's weight will put pressure on it and you get a voltage. Pretty simple. And this is like what you do. The same we're going to do with the llama gate. You can actually have a voltage you can switch on and off or whatever it might be, right? There's so many things you can do, but this is what it looks like. So there's the maths part of it. 3 volts is full divided by the voltage I currently have, and then the liters of the tank, which I just measured with maths. I know, I had to do maths. And then you get liters. You get like a liter out of it, and that was at the start, you saw the little gauges. That's all that is. That is what is behind it. So there's tricks you can do. You can do statistic sensors that level things out so you don't get the spikes, etc. But in essence, that's all it is. And that was the plan. Now, what you can do, which is really cool, is that, okay, I should probably set this up somehow. I'm not sure. But that looks simple, doesn't it? It's like project manager's project diagram or something. This is something called Node-RED, which is a visual tool for automation flows. And if you do like home automation, you use Home Assistant, check it out. It's really cool. But the idea here is that you can visually see if something happens, do something else, etc. So this is for all my water tanks. So I have 4, and 3 of them are connected. So there's a bore tank where a bore fills water. That feeds into a tank for our B&B, and then that can feed into the house because of gravity, mostly, right? I've then put little solenoids on it that switches on and off so I can fill one tank from the other in case we run out, because we don't want to run out. We use rainwater mostly, but this is a backup. And this is the, is it peak power usage? I don't want to run a pump when it's peak power because it costs more. Is it full or nearly empty? Do things like turn on the bore pump or turn it off. And it's all very visually easy to follow. And again, I wanted to do this with something that like a llama automation, right? So that was the product journey. I was thinking, okay, how do I expand this product because people are asking for it? Not you, because you didn't, but people on the internet were saying, oh, I'm going to feed the llamas, yay. There were also other suggestions, but okay, let's go back here. Actually, no, I'll get to that. I did say this was a bit, ad hoc. Okay, so. Okay, so what defines a successful ROI, right? Because we got to think of return on investment for products. Even for me as something that's a hobby project. Did I get out of it what I wanted to get out of it? So, I have some automation criteria for these things, which applies to pretty much any automation I do. Which is, first of all, okay, I'll ask you, what do you think? What would be some criteria for whether something like home automation is successful? Does it work? Reliability? Yeah. In what way? It's not flaky. You must be a developer, surely. Yeah, somewhat reliability. How do you measure it is what I'm saying, right? Where do you get? Yes, somewhat, yes.
You don't need its own app.
You don't need its own app?
People on Twitter say that it's cool.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that'll do. Yes. Accuracy, yeah, pretty good. I like that. Does it actually do what it needs to do, right? Yes?
Partner acceptance factor.
Oh, see?
Nice.
That's almost number one, right? I call it the parent test as well, because then I get in less trouble. But you're right. The parent test. Can my mother go into a room and turn the lights on without using a damn app? Hi, SSW. I knew. Oh, they've made a new office with no light switches. I'm not wrong. Not in Brisbane yet. It's coming. Yeah, that's one of them. Okay, there were some other hands. Yes, William.
Is your automation, or will it actually save you time?
But yes, yeah, absolutely. Almost. Is that one? That's the third one, but I don't want to reveal the second one. But you're right. You're absolutely right. Yes. Oh, he is a developer offline capabilities, right? Because Victoria's broken. Yeah. So it doesn't work. And do you know what doesn't work right now? We have power back. We have a generator. The rest of my family is driven to Adelaide. I'm going to fly there to meet him tonight. So there's no one there, right? So they turned the generator off until the power would come back. Power come back, my UPS doesn't turn on. I just need someone to go, that's it. The whole thing would fire up. So that's why I'm showing you YouTube videos, by the way. I blame the weather. Yes, Simone. Yes. Would you like the long story? The actual UPS I had, which is a quite big one, died, and I had to take one from another building to put in there, and I forgot to test that it would turn on. But you are absolutely right. Yeah, and then the third one, save time and money. This, to me, is actually, as a hobby project, is really critical. But in any project or product, it really is. It might not be save time and money. It might be make money, right? But everything I do is to save time and money. That's why that kind of carrot idea with the llamas maybe have failed a little bit. Now, when I say that, that's in terms of what I do in the farm. So it's water, right? For example, water is always a good example because everybody needs water. The bore tank that we have is 80 meters up the hill or 90 meters up the hill. So we pump water in it. When we got there, when we moved into the place, it didn't quite work. But anyway, when it started working, you had to walk up, climb up the side of the tank, look in it because it's open top, and you go, oh no, it's still full. Walk down to the house again. Do that twice a day or 4 times a week, whatever you need to. And then when it wasn't full, you turn it on. And then you go, okay, 3 hours, I got to go up. And you walk back up. You go, oh no, it's not quite full. You walk down to the house again. You walk up 2 hours later, you go, oh, it is full, and turn it on. Or you forget. And then you have 80,000 liters of water going down the hill. Right, has also happened. So that is, for me, is absolutely saving time and money. There's almost a critical part of what we did. And then you expand on that. So every time I have a project, and it also happens now with a YouTube channel, when you get to a certain number of subscribers, companies goes, please have our thing, right? Because they want you to talk about it on your channel. And you get this, if you want to do it, it's only you need 2,000-3,000 subscribers. It comes pretty quick, where companies goes, would you like our air purifier? I'm like, no, I don't want your air, or whatever it is, right? But that also brings back this. Is this something I would have done anyway? Would I have bought the thing or tried it out or something? It becomes a real critical factor in what I do. And when you think of products, you got to have criteria that is like that. What am I doing? Why am I doing it, right? So, all right. Another really important part of it, and this is probably any product, and this is kind of my job now as well, is community, right? We are here together. We are forming a community. I've spoken to so many people the last 3 days. People I haven't met, people I haven't seen for years, people I've spoken to on the internet and never actually met, lots of scenarios, right? But we form a community. Now, I put this up here as an example of what I've done as a community effort. So my YouTube videos, I reply to all comments, right? Even the ones that are, let's say, less constructive. I get great joy out of that, actually. But no, people in general are really good. I love that Eli is knitting in front here. That is brilliant. That is my measurement now, isn't it? Yeah. That makes you listen better, I bet. Yeah, that's fantastic. Sorry. So you build the community around it. So say you have products in your company, whatever those products are, right? For example, we have something called Feature Board. It's one of our products that Jake Ginnivan, former NDC speaker as well, has built. But we built a community, or we're building a community around that of people that use it, thinking of doing like hackathons or whatever, something that we get people's hands on the product semi-organically, and get them involved in it, and you give them feedback, you give them rewards, whatever it is. The reward here is that, I reply to the comments sometimes and I provide more information than I did in the video. But this is just a huge part of it, of any product in my experience. Anyone disagree with that? Oh, bugger. I was hoping someone would disagree. It's always more interesting. Yeah, so it's actually a good way. And in a previous life, I worked for A Cloud Guru. Has anyone ever heard of A Cloud Guru? Yeah, a lot of the Aussies have. And that became its own thing. Like people using it started telling other people they should use it. Like that's nirvana, where you get to that point where your users are becoming your advocates for your product, right? But you only get that through really taking care of that community. It doesn't just happen on its own. All right, where are we at? We got 20 minutes, roughly. Okay, so you get comments, right? This is what I'm talking about, community. Now, you don't have to read all of them, but these are just some of the ones, and you get quite a lot. It doesn't take long for you to get comments on YouTube. Sorry?
You know, I said people on Twitter thinking that it's cool as
Yeah.
a metric of success. That's what this is.
It is what it is. Yeah. And I love the comments. Absolutely love it. Like, it's a cool part of doing something for the community when you get the feedback, right? And I encourage everybody to do it in the videos, everything. You get this. So the same for a product. If you can somehow involve the community, whatever way it makes sense for you, but really think about it, it just becomes, it's a great way of scaling your workforce, to be honest, because you can only pay so many people to do this. All right. So you might be at this point thinking, yeah, very good, but I mean, how does this relate to development, right? Because we're developers. Yeah, I know. Okay, all right. So you can learn a few things for this as developer. First, I know first one is pretty controversial. Okay, maybe listen. Oh, usually I get people, right? So I listened to this, right? I sent this out. You remember this from earlier, and that was a tweet. And then I got people saying things like this, right? Oh, stream it live, 24/7, please. And I know Gerald from the Netherlands. I've met him, he's a good friend. But still, it's like, okay. And then I don't know Daria. But it's like that was the whole llamas kind of thing, right? I listened to that community that was around it, even though it was just a little thing, but it sort of sparked something, went, ooh, might be something here. And then this is what we're usually good at, especially now. Who has not seen a Copilot talk at this event? Exactly, right? Really? Well done, sir. Very good. Yeah, because it's just in our world now. Anything AI, right? It's everywhere. And we're figuring out what the hell we're doing, but freaking build it. This is always the step that's missing. I have a whole other talk on how to actually do this and how to get, hey? Spaceship! Exactly. Look, it's Benny, he's building it. So this is the part that most people go, oh God, right? Or you get halfway or whatever it might be because, well, life happens. This is the hard part. Not the actually building it, but sitting down and doing it is the hard part. Yeah? That's why, yeah, I do have a whole hour talk on how to get to this stage and just freaking do it. All right, refine, reiterate, reuse. All right, so actually, I'm just going to show you a demo now instead. Talking amongst yourselves. I'm just going to fire this up. Hang on. Because I do have internet here. It's going to be exciting. So, ooh. Sorry, where did it go? It went here. Okay. Yep. So, let's go to, they changed the name, didn't they? Anyway, Azure Portal. So one of the things that, I can't remember who said it, image recognition. I don't want to sign in with that. Who said image recognition for the llamas? Who was that? Was that you, Dylan? Yeah. So one of the things that I wanted to do, and let's just see if we can log in here. I wasn't sure I had time for this demo, so apologies. I'm just going to, anyone want to comment on me still using LastPass? You can. I'm okay with it. LastPass is fine. Oh, it's fine. It's not like they had any breaches or anything. There it is. Yeah, exactly.
It's basically open source now.
Glad you know you get one pass for free.
I know I also have one pass, but I've been using LastPass for a while, back when it was cool, so I'm getting there.
Did they bill you for 5 years in 1 year at the same time?
What?
They billed me 5 years in advance.
Oh yeah, well then you know you're good.
Yeah, I'm still 3 years in advance.
All right, so there's something that used to be called cognitive services on Azure. Have you heard of that? It's now called AI services, because naming, yeah. So I'm just going to go in. Where is it? Is that the one? No. Hang on. Give me a second here. Okay, so in here we have the llama-cam cognitive service. So this is one I built a little while ago. The idea with cognitive services or AI services, we're in a transition period of naming, is that you have all these ready-made models. And before November 2022, it was very cool and very cutting edge, and that's what I was using, right? Now is not so much because we have all of the generative, general AI models. Feedback, no, go away. So, in this resource, you just create the resource. There's not actually where you use it because internet's hard. So we have, oh God, what's that called again? It's the, someone would know. Now I've forgotten. I know. It's Friday afternoon.
AI Studio, is it?
Hey?
AI Studio.
No, it's not AI Studio. Let me just find my presentations. I have a whole run sheet for this when I'm being serious. Hang on. Dude. All right. So, and I didn't put it in there. It's going well. It's called, I had just before, it's a cognitive services portal. It's called, come on, you'd know. Yeah, no, it's not called that anymore. It was, hey?
I thought that's what it was now.
That is the base, and then there's a bunch of studios that you get.
Yeah, no, that's the, it's specifically for the,
Cognitive services one rather.
yeah, rather than all of it. Oh God, it's going well.
I would go through the portal anyway.
Yeah, there'd be a link.
You'd go through
Go to
portal.
the resource and then
You can actually, you can go to the quick start, wherever that is. Here, Vision. I think it's Vision.
Vision Studio.
Yeah, this one. You're not much help, everybody, I don't think. Custom Vision. Thank you.
Oh, the custom vision studio.
Customvision.ai. See, it was even there, right? Because Azure, I've got to sign in again. Right, so my idea was, we got here in the end, was to train a model, right? So remember I had all these restrictions, right? 100 gigabyte, et cetera, yeah? Try and run an LLM or something similar, right? It's just almost impossible. Why did that not log in? Oh, God. This is going so well. Using the web portal. Yeah, I know. Look at this. Yeah, oh, good one. So what happens, I just went to project directly, no sign in. So whoever's the product manager for this, anyway, let me do it bigger. Okay. I didn't sign in. Anyway, doesn't matter. I skipped it. No, because it said there wasn't any. Whatever. The idea was to take some of this llama footage, do image recognition on a llama, right? And then if there was a llama, I would put up a notification on the web page. You know, like those really annoying ones from the news websites. Can we show you notifications? Right, that sort of thing. So that when there is a llama, it would say, hey, quick, there's a llama. Because people were actually asking for it to go up, but there was no llamas. How do I know when there's a llama? Blah, blah, blah. This was my solution to it, and I pretty much did it, apart from the pop-up. So what you can do is in here, which is the custom vision part of AI services, is you can add a bunch of images. It's really simple, right? I've shown Michelle this before. So you put in horses and camels and, of course, llamas, right? Things that are either maybe would appear on the paddock, not a camel, but a horse maybe, right? I don't live in Alice Springs. And then a bunch of pictures of llamas, right? So some of them are from stock footage, some of them are, these are actually my own, these two here that are a bit blurry. And then you just click train, right? That's it. And you can do quick training, advanced training, etc. There's a few parameters you can go through. But the idea was that I could do this myself, and there's only how many pictures? 20? So is it going to be super precise? I don't know, but good enough probably. So I train it. I won't do it now because it can take up to an hour. For 20 images, it's not going to take an hour, right? It won't take that long. But you can probably get image sets, whatever, and you can do a quick test. So here's where the attendee component of my talk. Let me just say, right, llama here. We're going to get all sorts of MML. Oh, maybe not. Okay, images. I am Googling it with Bing, I know. Okay, just give me a row and a number. What llama would you like me to see if it works?
Oh, the little one in the middle? Yeah.
That one?
Nah, that's right. The one with the mouth.
That one?
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. Oh, jeez. This is why you came to this talk, right? Finally, some llama content. So we just need a URL for it. And we can enter that here. All right? It does a quick spinny thing, and it'll tell me over here on the right. 99.9%, right, that is a llama. I did another talk with the same service for a different reason, and I had something about monsters. And I do the same trick, you know, you search for monster, what do you get? The drink. So that didn't work as well. But no, here, and it's pretty accurate. And this is with minimal effort, right? Really minimal effort. And that was one of the things I was like, I don't need maintenance, I don't need anything to do with this. So what you do is you can export your model from this, you can run it locally. This was even before all of Scott's talks today, right? This was in late 2020, where this was sort of cutting edge. And I spoke to one of the guys on the Microsoft AI team who taught me through how to do that. And the reason I wanted to run it locally, because this has an endpoint, you can actually ask it, your model, you authenticate, you can ask your model whether it's a llama or not. I didn't have the bandwidth. Right? And then how often do I send these images up to this model? If I could do it locally, I could do it every 10 seconds. Right? So that was why I wanted to do it this way. And it works really well. It has a little bit of a problem when they're really far away, when they're really small, but as soon as they come up to the camera, it works a treat, which is what people usually want, right? You say, oh, there's a llama, and you come in and there's like 3 pixels, there's a llama, like that doesn't work. So, yeah, so that was the part of it. That was my product development, right? And that was the reiterate, well, refine, whatever it was that said on the slide, right? Any questions on the AI side of this? Because it's a little bit rudimentary now, but I kind of like it because it's simple. Yes, Jackie?
Did you use ML.net or something?
Yeah, I did. I did use ML.net. I actually created an Azure function, so serverless, that ran the ML, whatever it was, that then had this model as target, or whatever it was. I can't remember all the details, to be honest. And then that would then say yay or nay. I just did, because I created the website in WordPress, I had a little bit of trouble getting it into it, right? Again, cheap, fast. Yeah. Did you have a question?
Yeah. Did you train on anything other than llamas and horses and camels?
Yeah. Well, not a lot of others, but, zebras. There is actually,
So,
where did it go?
can you test it with a photo of you?
In front of me. Do you want to do that? Is that what you're saying? I like your thinking. Let's do that. I have not tried that. That would be amazing. Okay, which face? It's got to be me. Don't be clever. That's my dad. No. Which one? That one?
Yeah.
In Copenhagen. It's Nyhavn. All right. Let's see if it works.
Let's take bets on what percentage of
Are we doing genetics now? Is that what you're saying? All right.
23%
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, okay. Let's get some guesses. Come on. This is Friday.
Has it been trained on your face yet?
I can neither confirm nor deny that. 60? 60?
Limited training set, bias. You're only really going to get llama out.
60.
6%.
6, okay. 60.
Yeah.
1. Did you say 1? 1, okay. All right, so we got 1 or 60. All right, sure. Jeepers. Oh dear. That's it. So
Put that on your LinkedIn now.
okay, definitely not. Oh dear, people are taking pictures of it. That's going to be some AI. All right, good call. Well done. I like that. Oh dear. All right.
So now
No, llama.
the test is if we can get Dali to take a picture of you,
Make Dali make a picture of me. What?
that would give you at least 60%.
Oh right, that would give me at least 60%. We're getting into murky territory now. All right, let me just go back here. Oh dear. Almost at the end. Almost at the end. Is this where we got to? No, it wasn't. Got the next one. All right. Doot. There you go. Cool. So, build it, refine, reiterate, reuse. So, the reason that spurred me to do that was that we had llamas, right? And that was usually what it looks like. That's llama-cam 2, right? There's also llama-cam 1, 3, and 4. I actually have a hill cam now, which is 4G power. That's the only one I have that's not wired in. So I get llamas from the top of the hill as well. It's not an obsession if you can stop anytime you want, okay? So, and then, of course, you got to respect your consumers, your customers, your users, right? So you got to provide some sort of value, even though, people will say, oh, if it's free, you're the product kind of thing. I find with YouTube, especially, the value I give is that what I record is just me, right? It's raw, it's honest, I screw up, I put it on. I mean, I don't edit very much out. And people will enjoy that. They get value from seeing me screw up because what happens is that it becomes relatable. So bear this in mind if you ever want to do anything public. Is just like I couldn't find, remember the URL here, URL? Just give value back, whether that's advice, whether that's a free trial, whether that's something that makes people feel that the time they spent with you was valuable, which is why you all give me a green card in a minute, right? Dear, that was terrible segue. All right, treat everyone as a new contact I've written here. This is really important because when you do this, especially when you have a job where you do get on stage a lot or you talk to people, you demo the same product a lot, they haven't seen it before. You haven't seen this talk before. It doesn't matter if I've done it 10 times before. I got to make sure that you feel as, not privileged, that's the wrong word, but there's as much value as if I'd done it the first time or the second time, right? It shouldn't matter. So, yeah, it's good, isn't it? I can't remember. I've never seen this show, but I'd like this character and his face. So I always put that in there. It's The Office, right? Yeah.
It's one more.
Yeah, I don't watch TV, but that's a whole other story. Reception, but what reception? What? I don't understand. What? And this is what I said before. The community is your best sales force. Why do you think Microsoft gives me an MVP award? Right? No one knows. There's some good answers down here from Jesus. If you value your community, and they will support you, they'll build you up, right? I've seen this happen again and again. The opposite is true too, right? If you ignore people, they will not be happy, unless it's Apple. Unless there's other questions, we're pretty much at time. Anyone? You've been delightful. It's a good question. Am I sponsored by Ubiquity? Sort of. Yeah. So I bought some of the gear. I started talking about it. I was blogging. I then got in contact with the right person at Ubiquity. And there's now an agreement of, if I do a project they think is interesting, they will send me some of the gear. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it happens with a lot of it. I can talk very long about home automation, so if you have questions, feel free to come after the talk. But it does happen. Same with the YouTube channel. People will send you stuff. You have to acknowledge and give them your address, right? But they will send you stuff. Yeah, JK.
Did the camera ever recognize anything else other than llama?
No, it didn't. I wish it did. There is actually Ubiquity now, the latest iteration of cameras, which are not those that I have there, the G5 range, will do animal recognition for like dog, cat, something else, I can't remember. And I suspect that will only increase. There's many ways you can get this footage out and do your own thing, as I've done. You don't only have to use the ecosystem you're in, and it's cool. So, yes, Ross.
How did you manage your video on limited bandwidth?
Oh, good. Yes, good question. How do I manage to get the bandwidth right on such a limited plan, right? So I used OBS a lot to dial in the bit rate. It's like how low a bit rate can you go before it just becomes pixels. That was the main thing, but also that was why it said it'll be online in 15 hours, even it's not. The stream is not actually running. I ran it only in daylight, just purely to save bandwidth, because there's no point otherwise, right? So it ran from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. or something like that. Or something like that. Yeah, good question. All right. I have nothing else. I hope you enjoyed it. It was meant to be a lighthearted, humorous, somewhat disguised product development talk. But thank you very much. Yeah, takeaways. I don't know. Whatever you think. I didn't actually put anything on the slide because I was going to ask you, but we're almost out of time. Takeaways, listen, build it, take care of your community, bring value, and most of all, bring some joy. Right? It's got to be joyful because it's infectious. Anyway, that was it. Thank you very much. Flowers. And if you